going on, guys? It's me, David Aircraft Films here, and welcome to my Boston Bruins franchise. The objective of this series is to rebuild the Bruins and put them back into Stanley Cup contention. After winning a cup back in 2011 and winning a President's Trophy back in 2014, they missed the playoffs for the next 2 years. Now they finally get back in, but they ultimately lose to the Ottawa Senators. And this team does have some nice pieces here. We have guys like Patrice Bergeron, as you'll see right here in a second. He's one of the best two-way forwards in the game today and of all time. 4 Selkies, I mean, that's pretty impressive. And yeah, he is going to be a key to our success here on our first line. His partner in crime, Brad Marchand, he's really matured as the team's first sniper, and I'm excited to have him on the team. He really emerged this past season as an elite player in the league. Next up, David Krejci. He never really quite got back to what he was doing in the playoffs in 2011, but we're going to look to spark him up a little bit as our second line center. He is a fantastic playmaker, and I do like me some David Krejci. Next up, we have Big Z Zdeno Chara, the captain, 39 years of age. He's one of the greatest of all time, pretty much, just because of how long he played, and he is the captain of this team. He literally is the Boston Bruins franchise. Next up, we have goaltender Tuukka Rask, and if it wasn't for Tuukka Rask this past season, the Bruins wouldn't have even made the playoffs, and yeah, he's just a key part in that. He's an elite goaltender, it says it right there. He's an elite goaltender in the league, and I'm excited to have him on the team as well. Next up for the future, the immediate future, David Pastrnak, right wing playmaker. He's going to be playing on that first line, and he's a very, very good player. We give him an 87 overall to start off. He has medium elite potential, and I do like him a lot. Next up, Brandon Carlo. He had a very nice first season this past season in real life, and I'm excited to have him on the team as well. 83 overall, high top 4 potential there on defense. Now for a little bit of the long-term future, maybe immediate future, here's Charlie McAvoy. Fantastic young player, 18 years of age. He came in real life for the Bruins in the playoffs. He was poised and ready to go. Hopefully he'll do that here in this series. A guy that needs a little bit more time to develop is Jake DeBrusk. He's a left-wing sniper, medium top 6 potential. He is still a very solid player, and I would like to grow him through the system. And Zachary Senyshyn is pretty much the same thing, except he is on the right wing, and yeah, we just need to grow these guys, and hopefully we can beef up our offense in the future. Next up on defense, though, we have a left-handed defenseman, Jacob Zaboral. He has medium top 4 potential, 72 overall, and I do like him a lot. I like those 3 players a lot, these 3 young players. We're going to bring them up through and put them on the team in the future. Now let's take a look at line combinations. First line, Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, and David Pastrnak. Second line, David Backes, David Krejci, and Frank Vatrano. Third line, Matt Bolesky, Ryan Spooner, Andrew Stafford, and our fourth line is Jimmy Hayes, Dominic Moore, and Riley Nash. Now for defense, our first pairing is Zdeno Chara and Brandon Carlo. Second pairing, Adam McQuaid and Torrey Krug. And our third pairing is Kevin Miller and Colin Miller, no relation there. Overall, I think we could have a pretty better offense. Like, we can improve our offense, and we could improve our defense. But overall, I think this is a nice foundation for this team. And as you can see, I'm quickly scrolling through the special teams and extras here. If you're a Bruins fan, you pretty much know what this is. I'm trying to keep it like it is in real life with all the special teams combinations. And as you can see right here, our goaltender is going to be Tuukka Rask and Anton Khudobin there. Our scratched players are Joe Morrow, Tim Schaller, and Noel Acciari. I like Schaller and Acciari. They both add like a hitting factor to this team. Sort of like, they bring the attitude, sort of like what Thornton and Campbell did in 2011. Now right here, we're going to take a look at player morale and see who is what. David Backes is a leader, Patrice Bergeron's leader, and Zdeno Chara is a leader. Now for captains and jerseys, if we scroll over here, you can see that Zdeno Chara is going to continue to be our captain for this season, and Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci will be our alternate captains. And now here for our AHL squad, I mainly put the focus on guys like Jake DeBrusk, Jacob Forsbacka-Karlsson, and Danton Heinen because they have the brightest future out of any of the forwards on the team. I pretty much put them on first power play, penalty kill, things like that. And then I also put the focus on Charlie McAvoy there. I think he's on literally every single thing that there is. And we also put a little bit of focus on Matt Grzelcyk and Rob O'Gara because they also are solid. And here we go into the simulation. So we are going to sim right past the preseason here. Let me get through all of this stuff really quickly, and let me explain the scouting assignments really quickly. I'm going to go through the 3 major Canadian divisions, each scouting each forward, defenseman, and goaltender for 6 weeks. And that's pretty much just how that works. I'll rotate it around like I did in my New York Rangers franchise series. But as you can see, we finish off preseason 5-2, which is pretty solid for a team that barely made the playoffs this past season, and here we go. We beat Columbus 3-1 in our very first game. At Toronto, 4-3 shootout win. At Winnipeg, we win 3-1 versus New Jersey, 3-2 win. We are on fire, 4 straight wins, and then a 7-0 loss against the Montreal Canadiens. And then the next week, we lose 2 straight, but we do get 1 point out of it because it was a shootout loss, and I did not see what we did right there. But we do beat the Florida Panthers 7-4. We lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning right there. Then we lose to the Rangers. So we're very streaky right now. We won the first couple games. Now we're losing a couple. I think it's just getting the rust off of the players a bit. We'll start to warm up and do a little bit better here. And I am going to be simming right now to the Thanksgiving deadline because I like to do that because if you're not in the playoffs by Thanksgiving, there's only a 10% chance that you will be in the spring. So that's why I always sim here, so I can take a look at stats and see what's working, what's not, if I need to adjust, if I'll be in the playoffs or not. And as you can see, we are doing pretty well. 12-8-1 is pretty solid. Now let's take a look at stats. As you can see, we are the 10th best team in the league. Our goals for per game, we are not in the top half, which is unacceptable. If we want to be a true playoff contender, we got to be in the top half in literally everything. Goals against per game, same thing. We are not in the top half. We've got to improve offensively. We've got to improve defensively. Maybe it's just rust. I don't know. But now let's take a look at individual stats here for our players. As you can see, Brad Marchand leads the team with 11 goals, followed by David Backes with 7. Matt Bolesky on the third line has 6. That is pretty impressive for him. Patrice Bergeron has 6. Riley Nash has 4. Drew Stafford has 3, and so does Frank Vetrano. Assist, David Pastrnak leads the team with 16 assists. Ryan Spooner has 11. David Krejci has 9. Drew Stafford has 7. Patrice Bergeron has 7, and Brad Marchand has 6. For points, Brad Marchand leads the team with 17 points. Actually, he's tied with David Pastrnak there. Patrice Bergeron has 13, Backes with 11, Krejci with 11, and Spooner with 11. So we're getting a lot of our main guys going here. Maybe it's just the young guys, the back end of our team not really doing that well. Kevin Miller's a +3, Zdeno Chara is a +1, Carlo's a +1, Colin Miller is even, Adam McQuaid is a -2, and Torrey Krug is a -5. Now let's take a quick look at Tuukka Rask and see how he's doing on the season. 2.51 goals against average, and here he has 12 wins, but his save percentage, .905. He's doing worse than Anton Khudobin there. I would like to see Tuukka Rask step up. And, yeah, he needs to improve just a little bit. But right here, Matt Bolesky is at his prime. He's not getting any better after this. Right now, he has high trade value, so we're going to be trading him away. And 2 draft picks for Josh Anderson, a grinder, a young grinder from the Columbus Blue Jackets. And also for a 4th and a 5th from them. And they will accept that deal. But we are not done yet. We're also going to be dealing away Jimmy Hayes. We're getting rid of our 2 bad contracts on our offense. We're giving up 2 later round picks for a 3rd round pick from the Dallas Stars. Hopefully they will accept this, and let's see what happens here. They do accept it, and we empty off of our bad contracts. Now we can actually fill in players, young players, that actually have a future on the team, guys like Tim Schaller and Noel Acciari there on the 4th line, and we move up Riley Nash to the 3rd line to replace Matt Bolesky. Now on our AHL squad, I noticed that Danton Heinen was playing absolutely fantastic. He was hot as of late, and I'm going to put him there on the 1st line with the 2 other young guns flanking him on either side. Now we are going to sim the bulk of the season all the way up to the trade deadline, and let's see what happens here. We start off with a 3-2 loss against the Lightning, but we do beat the Flyers. Versus Carolina, we lose there at Buffalo. Can we get the job done? Yes, we do. 4-3 overtime win, 5-2 loss against the Panthers on the following Monday. 3-2 overtime win against the Capitals. That's a pretty big game. Versus Toronto, we lose in a shootout. Against the Montreal Canadiens, we do beat them. We also beat the Penguins there and the Anaheim Ducks. We're starting to get hot now. Look at this point streak. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-game point streak, and that's exactly what I like to see. Let's see if we can continue on after we do our scouting report right here. Versus the LA Kings, we do win 3-0, and then it ends right there against the Islanders, a 2-1 loss. But let's see if we can start it back up again. Against the Panthers, we get a win. Against the not Falcons. What's wrong with me? Against the Hurricanes, we get a win. Then we lose against Columbus, get a couple wins there. I mean, we are doing absolutely fantastic right now. Look at this, 25-14-2. We are going to hit 30 here in a couple games if we keep this up. Look at this win streak. We are just doing so good right now. And I feel like the Bruins could have done this in real life. They have the potential to be great, but they just did not perform last season in real life. And it's frustrating being a Bruins fan because I know that they could have played better. But Yeah, I mean, they barely made the playoffs. So like Tampa Bay was right on top of them, and they snuck through. But I feel like they could have done this in real life, is what I'm trying to say. But look at this right here. This is just absolutely amazing. 33-17-2. Okay, we lose a couple games there, but it's fine. We are doing fantastic. We hit 30 wins before we hit 20 losses, which is normally what you like to see in a championship caliber team. Right here, though, oh man, we're on a 4-game losing streak. We break it against the Canucks. That was actually a little bit rough right there. But I mean, hey, there's rough in every single season. Then we lose against the Canadiens. Right here, the Detroit Red Wings, they offer us Thomas Tatar, but I'm like, we don't need him. We don't want to take in contracts. We want to sort of rebuild and sort of cheapen up the team a little bit. But right here, the big week in the West. Can we get the job done? We sweep all 3 games, and that is what it's just perfect. 37 wins. We are on fire right now. We're the 7th best team in the league, and our goals for per game has gone up. We are in the top half now, and we are performing extremely well. It could be a little bit better, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with how the offense is right now. And defensively, we are in the exact same position. So, I mean, the team's simply just playing extremely well right now. Let's take a look at our power play percentage because it was too early to look at it last time. And yeah, our power play, that's rough right there. We are towards the bottom in power play. We're not getting the job done there. I might have to change up something. Then for our penalty kill, the Bruins did have the #1 penalty kill in real life last season, but it does not reflect that way in the game. Dominic Moore and Riley Nash are 2 big pieces for that, so that's why I like them on the team. But anyway, now let's take a look at individual stats. Brad Marchand, 25 goals. Patrice Bergeron, 22. David Backes, 14. Frank Vatrano, 13. Drew Stafford, 12. And David Pastrnak with 11. Assists, David Pastrnak leads with 41 assists. That's insane. Marchand with 36. Patrice Bergeron with 29. Spooner with 26. Krejci with 25. And now in terms of points, Brad Marchand leads the team 61 points. David Pastrnak 52. Bergeron 51. Spooner 35, Krejci 34, and Vatrano 33. Vatrano's getting the job done there as our second line left winger. But in terms of plus minus, Kevin Miller a +8, Zdeno Chara a +7, Brandon Carlo a +6, Colin Miller a +6, Adam McQuaid a +2, and Torrey Krug a -1, the only minus defenseman on the team. And yeah, our defense has really turned it around here. And let's see if Tuukka Rask has done the same. A 2.50 goals against average and a save percentage of .916. He has definitely turned it around, and Tuukka Rask is starting to get hot here, and that's exactly what we want to see. Now we are going to sim out the rest of the regular season here, as we are going to sim past the Washington game, and we are going to be facing the Dallas Stars. The trade deadline is upon us, but I figured, I mean, we're doing so good right now, I don't really want to change anything, and I do not want Thomas Tatar. I'm sorry, Red Wings, get him away from me. But anyway, right here, we're actually going to lose the next 2 games. But here, after the trade deadline, let's see what happens. There is a win, a 4-2 win against the Rangers versus the New Jersey Devils. Let's see what happens here. 3-0 win at Ottawa here on a Monday. Can we get the job done? Yes, we do. 6-5 versus Detroit. We are going to get a point out of that game. So we have a 4-game point streak now here versus Philadelphia. Yep, there we go. 5-game point streak right after the trade deadline at Vancouver. Can we extend it to 6? No, they end it right there. 5-game point streak, and then we pick it right back up. That's what I like to see. When we take a loss, we pick it right back up, and it's been that way all season, and we are just destroying teams right now. At Toronto, are we going to win here? No, we do lose. Have we beaten Toronto yet? I haven't seen it, and that's actually a little bit disappointing considering how young and unexperienced that team is. But I mean, they made the playoffs in real life, so I have to give them a little bit of respect for that. But right here, we are going to lose. Yeah, that's actually a little bit rough. We lost 4 of our last 5 games. That is a little rough. But again, there's rough points in every single season. We just got to start picking it back up and go on some big point streaks in terms of games. Right here, we're going to scout defensemen for 6 weeks, like we've been doing. And now versus Nashville, we are going to win 6-4 versus Dallas. Can we do it? Can we destroy these Western teams? Yes, we can. Versus Florida now in the second to last week of the regular season. We are going to win there in overtime at Chicago. We win there versus Tampa Bay. We got to win out to get 50 wins. Can we get 50 wins in the first season? This is hardly even a rebuild. I'm not doing anything. Oh my gosh, look at this. One more win and we get 50, and we do. We beat the Washington Capitals. So our first season, we get 50 wins. which, I mean, I don't think they could have done that in real life, but I think they could have gotten more wins than they did. But, oh man, this is awesome. Now we're going to sim here and see who we face in the first round, and it is going to be the Columbus Blue Jackets. This team is extremely dangerous. But before we face them, let's take a look at stats. We're actually the 4th best team in the league, and let's look at goals for per game. We are in the top half. We actually moved up a couple positions there. Goals against per game. We fell out of the top half, so our defense was a little bit iffy there towards the end of the season, but our offense is getting the job done. Let's take a look at power play quickly. We're in the bottom half there. Still, our power play is just simply not getting the job done, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I guess I could try switching around some people, but here is the penalty kill. Yeah, we're towards the bottom in that as well. I mean, we're still in the top half, but we're towards the bottom in the top half. I'd like to be a little bit higher than that. But let's take a look at final stats here. Patrice Bergeron, 33 goals. Brad Marchand, 31 goals. David Backes, 20 goals. Drew Stafford, 18 goals. Frank Vatrano, 17 goals. Torrey Krug, 17 goals. David Pastrnak, 15 goals. And there was actually a pretty low total for Pastrnak there, but he did get 57 assists. That is insane. 57 assists for David Pastrnak. He's just feeding people the puck. Marchand 51, Krejci 36, Bergeron 36, and Spooner 33. Now in points, you see that Brad Marchand is point per game, 82 games, 82 points. That's fantastic. Pastrnak 72 points, Bergeron 69 points. Vatrano, look at Frank Vatrano up there. He's up there in the upper 40s. Look at that. And then Krejci 47 points. That is fantastic all around for our young guys. Right here, Kevin Miller's a plus 12, Colin Miller's a plus 7, Charles a plus 6, Carlo is a plus 3, McQuaid is a plus 2, and Torrey Krug ended a minus 4. I'm not sure what's going on with him right there. Raska 2.64 goals against average and a .911 save percentage. He sort of fell off there just a tiny bit, but he's still up there. I'm still good with him. Now let's take a look at the entire league and see who finished with what. John Tavares and Vladimir Tarasenko tied in goals, 49 goals apiece, and that is pretty impressive from the two of them. Now let's look at assists. Paul Stastny leads with 58 assists, actually tied with his teammate Alex Pietrangelo, and right below him, look at that, David Pastrnak up there. I guess, yeah, he's second because it was a tie for first. But now in terms of points, John Tavares leads with 91, Kane with 90, Tarasenko 90, Sagan 90. Oh, that Sagan trade still hurts. Imagine if we had Sagan today. Holy crap, we'd have like 60 wins. It'd be insane. Plus minus right here. Michael Del Zotto leads all defensemen in plus minus. That's a little bit surprising, to be honest. Actually, he ties Drew Doughty. There's so many ties this season, man. Oh my gosh, I keep missing that. But now let's take a look at goalies. We're going to skip over goals against average because that's mostly defense as well. Save percentage, here we go. Henrik Lundqvist, the king, leads in save percentage, .929. And that is pretty impressive from him. And right there, look at that. Jonas Gustafsson, a former Boston Bruin, is up there on that list. I don't know what happens, but when we trade someone, they become like superstars all of a sudden. But as you can see, take a look at the playoff bracket right here. See if you can find your favorite team and follow them through the playoffs or after the playoffs when I go through everything. But here we go. Game number 1. This is in Boston. Remember, the first 2 games will be in Boston. Then it goes to Columbus for 2 games. But here we go. First period action. David Pastrnak opens up scoring on Bravovsky. Second period, Matt Bolesky, the former Bruin, gets one on Tuukka Rask. Third period action. Brandon Saad gets the game-winning goal. And that puts the Columbus Blue Jackets up 1-0 in the series. Let's take a look at the 3 stars. Bravovsky, Rask, and Saad. This Columbus team is extremely stacked, and I thought, hey, the Bruins did it in real life. They brought up Charlie McAvoy for the playoffs. I'm going to do the same freaking thing. The guy's 81 overall already, and I want to give him some playoff experience, and we'll insert him in the lineup here. We're going to put him beside Zdeno Chara, and we're going to put him on like pretty much everything the Bruins did in real life, like on the power play, and we're going to get him a lot of ice time and see if he can develop here in the playoffs a little bit, and maybe he could be a hero. Maybe he'll get an overtime goal or something, but we do have to bench Colin Miller, which is a little bit upsetting for him at least, because he might drop off because of his morale. But anyway, right here, Game 2, still in Boston, first period, and the Bruins strike first. Ryan Spooner and Drew Stafford on the third line getting things done. Second period, nothing. Third period, the Bruins just got to close out third period. Oh, no, they don't. They give up 2 goals. Nick Foligno and Korpuskovsky both get a goal on Tuukka Rask. And then in overtime, though, David Krejci responds and puts Boston back tied with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Big goal right there by David Krejci, one of the leaders of this team. and the 3 stars, Rask, Krejci, and Spooner. So yeah, our third line is performing, at least they did in that game, and that's what I'd like to see. The whole team getting involved, that is what is good. That's what makes you win, the whole team getting involved. But now here, Game 3 in Columbus. Can we see what happens? We're gonna see what happens right here. First period, nothing. Second period, no, they strike first. William Karlsson and Brandon Saad make it a 2-0 lead for Columbus. Can we tie? No, we can't. Brad Marchand gets too little, too late with only 1 goal. And, I mean, at least he did score. But there's Tuukka Rask as your first star, Brovovsky your second, and Saad your third. So, the Blue Jackets take a 2-1 series lead after they win 2-1 in the third game. Here we go, Game 4, still in Columbus. We've just got to steal one of these games. We've got to tie it back up here because this could potentially determine the series. A 3-1 versus a 2-2. I mean, yeah, that's not good. So right here, first period, nothing happens. Second period, oh, it's a strike fest. I don't know what I just said. Sam Gagner and then Alexander Wenberg, followed up by Ryan Spooner and Brad Marchand. So the game is tied up at 2-2. Third period, it is still tied. Ryan Spooner, but then with a minute left, Cam Atkinson gets a goal on Tuukka Rask, and that one hurts a lot. But here we go in overtime. Brandon Saad puts the Columbus Blue Jackets up 3-1 in the series, and it's not looking good here for a 50-win team against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Saad, Spooner, and Wenberg are your 3 stars, and here we go into a game number 5. Yes, actually, no, before we do that, we're going to make some line changes here. That's right. I'm going to switch up Ryan Spooner. Since he's been hot as of late, we're going to move him up to the second line. We're also going to reunite Bergeron and Krejci, try to make like a completely stacked line as I move Riley Nash to center, move Frank Vatrano down, move Krejci, and we're going to replace him with Pasternak right here. And then we're going to switch Pasternak and Backes to create as much offense as we possibly can. Yeah, Frank Vatrano's been pretty much silent, so that's why we move him down and we move Spooner up because he's able to get goals. So here we go. Actually, no, sorry, I'm still making changes. We are going to move Charlie McAvoy down a little bit and take him off of a lot of the power plays and stuff like that because he is a -4. He is struggling a little bit, and I don't want him to be the reason that we lose this series. We do need to win. Like I thought we would win. And, yeah, we're going to move Carlo back up with Chara there. But here we go. Game number 5. 3-1 series lead for Columbus. Can the Bruins bring it back within 2? Or, sorry, back within 1. Because if they get the win. Yeah, okay. Okay, so first period action. Let's see what happens here. And the Bruins have a 2-1 lead. Riley Nash and Scott Hartnell and Brad Marchand all score. Second period, it is Sam Gagner, David Pastrnak, and David Krejci. So the Bruins are up 4-2 heading into the third. They can't blow another 2-goal lead. Please don't do it. Oh my gosh, they did it. Brandon Saad and Boone Jenner get 2 goals on Tuukka Rask in the third period. So here we go, overtime. This is it. Can the Bruins stay alive to fight another day? 16 minutes left. 15, 14, 13. Who is going to get the goal? You're killing me, game, with suspense. Bergeron step up. Marchand step up. Someone. Tuukka Rask go out on the ice and skate around. Please, someone score for our team. Oh, we're going to a second overtime. Here we go. The stress is picking up. 17 minutes left. And Patrice Bergeron gets the game winner in double overtime. And the Bruins are back within 1 in the series. Krejci, Marchand, and Bergeron are your 3 stars. Our first line getting it done right there. And now here we go. Game 6. If the Bruins win this, the series is tied up 3-3. Who will win? This is in Columbus, but let's see. First period action, nothing happens. Second period, oh, Columbus lights it up. Brandon Saad, William Karlsson, and Brandon Dubinsky. Saad is on fire as of late. And here we go, third period action. The Bruins need a couple goals. They need actually many goals very fast. Who's going to step up? Someone get a goal. It can't be a shutout to Brovovsky. It can't be a shutout to the real-life Vezina winner. Please don't make that happen. Please. Game. Someone score. Bergeron again. Get a hat trick. 1 minute left. And the Bruins are shut out in Game 6. So there's been some offensive inconsistencies earlier in the season. Things started to look up. But in the end, offense is what ended this team. Our defense only allowed 3 goals there. I mean, we could have scored 4 or maybe even tied with 3 and then scored 1 in overtime or something like that. But here we go. In the offseason, we are going to simulate up to the draft. But before we do, we're going to do our scouting assignment here in the OHL. We're going to be doing goalies, finishing that off for 6 weeks. And as you can see, the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid in his 2nd season. Connor McJesus, what just happened? Leads his team to a Stanley Cup. That is absolutely fantastic by the young kid. I'm really excited to see who they beat, because I know the Penguins are stacked and the Capitals are stacked. But here we go. Let's take a look at retirees. Pavel Datsyuk retires. Former Bruin Mark Savard retires. Matt Cullen retires. Who else right here? Patrick Marleau and Daniel Sedin both retire. I didn't see Henrik, though, so I think it was just Daniel retired, which is a little bit sad. I like them to both retire at the same time to go out as brothers. But there you can see Jaromir Jagr and Shane Doan both retire. Finally, Jagr goes, one of the best in history. And not too many good defensemen here. There's Andrei Markov on the Canadiens, former Bruins there at the top of the list. And then actually no goaltenders retired. But now here we go. The stats are out. Now let's take a look at playoffs. Goals for per game. We're towards the bottom a little bit. I think we're in the top half. Or no, I think we're in the bottom. I take that back. Yeah, we're in the bottom half. And we're also in the bottom half in defense. So both offense and defense sort of brought us down there. But in the end, it was offense that brought us down. Now let's take a look at player stats. Brad Marchand, 3 goals. Spooner got 3 goals. He was hot. David Pastrnak, 2 goals. David Krejci, 2 goals. Bergeron, Stafford, and Nash all with 1 goal. So I didn't say Vetrano, did I? Did he get a single goal? That's upsetting, actually. Brad Marchand here, 6 points, leads the team. And now in terms of defense, yeah, we just got lit up. Adam McQuaid is our only plus player. Everyone else just sort of crapped the bed there in the playoffs. And Tuukka Rask, we'll take a look at his save percentage. It wasn't his fault at all. Tuukka Rask was very solid for us there in the playoffs. And he did everything that he could have. Our defense, I guess, just gave up so many shots that eventually the puck had to go in the net. Max Pacioretty leads the league with 14 goals. Assist is going to go to Connor McDavid. He got 19 assists. That's insane. But only 3 goals, which means Pacioretty leads with 24 points. Now for defenseman, who has the best plus-minus, it is going to go to Mark-Edward Vlasic on the San Jose Sharks, 91 overall. He's a pretty solid player. I was looking at him a little bit. Maybe we could trade for him. I mean, he's only 31. He still has some years left ahead of him. But I don't know. We do need a left-handed defenseman, sort of like how the Bruins need him in real life. But right here you can see Carey Price is the king in the playoffs. He dethrones Henrik Lundqvist in terms of save percentage. And as you can see right here, this is the playoff tree. So take a look. Try to find your team. If your team didn't make it, I'm sorry, but if your team did make it, try to find them and see how they did. Tell me in the comment section below. But right here, we are going to be looking at progress reports and see who developed into what and who is falling off. Zachary Senyshyn, look at that, 72 to 76. That is tremendous. O'Gara went up. I don't see Matt Grizz. Oh, wait, no. Why is Senyshyn up? Okay, no, forget it. Okay, Jacob Forsbacka-Karlsson also developed from a 72 to a 77. DeBrusk went from a 72 to a 77 as well. Vetrano 80 to 83. That's fantastic. Charlie McAvoy 79 to 81. So maybe moving him up did sort of hinder his progress, but here we go with the awards. Stanley Cup champions are the Edmonton Oilers. The President's Trophy goes to the Minnesota Wild. Oilers win in the West, and oh my gosh, they beat the Capitals. They beat Ovechkin and the Capitals in the East. Art Ross goes to John Tavares. Hart goes to Voracek. The Norris Trophy goes to Drew Doughty again. The Lady Byng goes to Patrick Kane. The Calder Memorial goes to Patrick Laine, not Austin Matthews. Holy crap. Cam Talbot gets the Conn Smythe. The Vezina goes to Henrik Lundqvist. William N. Jennings Trophy goes to Braden Holtby. Bill Masterson goes to Brandon Carlo. That's surprising. Good for Brandon Carlo getting his name on a trophy. And Bergeron has a 4th Selke in this universe as well, just like he does in real life. I mean, he's just one of the greatest two-way forwards of all time. Lindsay goes to Voracek, and Tavares gets the Maurice Richard Trophy for scoring the most goals in the season. And now it's time for the 2017 NHL entry draft, where we try to better our future team by drafting people today. First of all, we're going to take a look at Jake Kreisky here. We're going to draft him and see what he turned out to be in the first round. And he is a medium top 9 forward. That's pretty solid, and it's just a solid pick overall. Next up, Goaltenders, we're going to be looking at Varlamov right here from Ukraine, and we will draft him, see what he is. He is a medium fringe starter goaltender, so again, just another solid pick right there. Maybe he could be a backup for Tuukka Rask one day. Next up, Henry Jokiharju. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It's almost impossible for me to pronounce Finnish names, but we're going to draft him. I know he's solid. Yep, there we go. Medium top 6 potential. Very solid player. I think he should actually be higher, but that's just my opinion. He went first round in real life, but right here, we're going to be taking a look at a American goaltender, Paul, and we're going to draft him, and he is a medium fringe starter. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at another goaltender, a third goaltender, Venni Vehviläinen. Again, I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. And he's Finnish as well, and he's also a medium fringe starter. So we have 3 goalies that are medium fringe starting goaltenders, so which means we just have an overflow of goaltenders, which means we can trade them away, bring in other assets, and here we go to the re-signing stage. The first guy we're going to take a look at is Oscar Steen. We are going to re-sign him back. He is a young prospect. Next up, we're going to take a look at Dominic Moore, 36 years of age. He is falling off a little bit in overall. That's why I'm only going to be signing him to a 1-year contract and see if he accepts. He's a key part to our penalty kill. Tommy Cross, the captain on our AHL squad, we're definitely bringing him back. Who is up next right here? Alex Grant, another minor league player. We're going to cut him. I feel like we can get better than him. We're also going to release Zach Ronaldo here, the dirty grinder. And speaking of grinders, here are a bunch of clean grinders coming up. This is Tim Schaller. He's just a perfect 4th liner, left wing. We definitely want to bring him back. Same thing here with Nola Chari. Just a perfect, clean hitting grinder on our 4th line. He's a setter though, so that's pretty solid. And then right here, Josh Anderson is a right winger. So right there, those past 3 guys, there are 3 guys right here. They're all grinders on our 3rd line. I think I all gave them 3-year deals, so they'll be together for a while, and I'll try to utilize them together. But of course, Dominic Moore is on that 4th line, so he's definitely going to be there. If he retires or falls off, I'll trade him or something like that. And yeah, we're going to release Brian Ferlin, Emil Johansson. We're going to release as well. Just minor league players where I feel like we can do better than that. We are going to also release Christian Hargrove and move on to Linus Arneson, who is another nice young prospect. We'll give him a 1-year deal because he wanted that for some reason. Austin Czarnik, key piece to our offense in the minor league squad as well. I like moving him around, and he can help better further prospects. We're going to release someone right there. I did not see who it was. That's my bad, but he's probably not important. Right here, we're going to qualify Ryan Spooner as an RFA. We're not going to pay him just quite yet. I want to see if we can get any draft picks for him or anything like that. But here's the big one. David Pastrnak, the future of how this team will be. If Pastrnak is good, then the team will be good. If Pastrnak is bad, then the team is bad. We're going to give him a 4-year deal right there. Joe Morrow, we're also going to qualify as an RFA. Drew Stafford is an unrestricted free agent, and he's getting older, 31 years of age, 84 overall. I'm going to release him. I just don't feel like giving him a contract. Again, I think we can do better than Drew Stafford. I didn't really like the trade in real life, and it showed that right there. We're going to re-sign Zane McIntyre, another sort of prospect goaltender that we have in the AHL squad. And you can see the guys that accepted and declined. Moore accepted, Tim Schaller accepted, David Pastrnak accepted, Nola Chari accepted, Josh Anderson accepted, Linus Arneson accepted, Tommy Cross accepted, Zane McIntyre accepted, Austin Czarnik is back because he accepted, and Oscar Steen is the only one that rejected our deal, so we're going to have to go back and take a look at him. But now here in free agency, we're going to be looking at Justin Williams. We struggled with offense in the playoffs. This guy is Mr. Playoffs, Justin Williams from the Capitals. We want to bring him in, and he could potentially replace Drew Stafford. I know he's older, but we're going to give him a 1-year deal. I don't feel like paying him all that money. We're going to sign Chris Bork, Jason Winquist, I believe his name is, Cole Schneider, and Jason Schwartz here, who is actually former Providence Bruin. So we're going to pretty much sign those 4 guys to fill up our roster, our wing roster on our AHL squad. But right here is a massive trade. Colin Miller and Joe Morrow, 2 young defensemen, very young defensemen. We're going to be trading them to Florida for 2 third-round picks. The reasoning is we have so many defensemen. We have so many defensemen coming up through the system. It would just be there's no reason to have them on the team. I thought might as well get picks from that. And Justin Williams declines our offer, actually. And it's Joshua Winquist, by the way. Sorry, that's my bad. These names, man, so many names. But we're going to go right back to Justin Williams and see if we can get him again. We're going to sim, and he's going to give us the middle finger and head off to Dallas with Jimmy Hayes. That is unfortunate. So I go to Dallas's roster. I'm like, all right, we need some payback. I'm getting me some Brett Ritchie, power forward, pretty much a Bruin/LA King type player, big guy. We want him there. We're going to put him on our third line, and that's exactly what we do. We trade Malcolm Subban, who's sort of a failed attempt at a goaltender, and to replace Malcolm Subban, we're going to sign Mike Condon. And yeah, we were never going to use Malcolm Subban. Let's be real here. Low potential. He's just not going anywhere. And as I was simming to next season, I almost forgot about Ryan Spooner. We do need to sign him to a contract. I finally gave in. I mean, he's just a nice guy too. Ryan Spooner, he's just a nice guy. Why not bring him back? We can always trade him if he starts to fall off. I did move his stats down actually before we started the series because they put him at like an 85, and I'm like, no, he's not that good. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the episode, guys. Tell me what you think about the format of this episode. I know it's super, super long. But yeah, the Bruins, we're going to win a cup in the next 4 episodes. Let's go. Comment, subscribe, your veggies, go to school, take our thumbs out. Peace!